my ego was really tied up in the whole experience. So yes, on the surface, I'm a great husband because I'm really attentive to my wife. But the motive of why I'm attentive to my wife has a self-focus in it. The motive behind it was I needed her to perform so that I felt good about me. Welcome to the Get Your Marriage On podcast. I'm your host, Dan Purcell, a sex and intimacy coach for married couples. My mission is to help you build and maintain a sexually vibrant and emotionally intimate marriage. Join me each week as we explore principles and practical tools based on Christian values to create the passionate, joyful, and thriving marriage you're designed to have. Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Get Your Marriage On podcast. This is episode 303, and I want to try something completely different that I've never done on the podcast before in over 300 episodes. I have met a wonderful couple that has been so brave and willing to record our coaching sessions, and we're going to release them in a 5-part series on this podcast. You're going to meet this wonderful couple, Peggy and Steve, which I'll tell you about in just a minute. The reason why this is so meaningful to me is I really believe in coaching. There's something about having a neutral third view in the room, so to speak, really helps you see things that you're missing so you can actually make real progress in your marriage relationship. Now, for the listener, here's 3 invitations that I have for you. First is, as you listen, see if you can identify patterns in this couple that you can relate to. Is there anything in their story that's part of your story too? Number 2, I want to give you a glimpse into my coaching approach. I'm going to give you a little bit of insight into my head as to what I'm thinking about as I coach them before and after each session. So you get like a recap kind of a thing. Number 3, I want to show you that there is hope. No matter where you are in your relationship, coaching is an effective way to help you reach your goals. It's not the only way, but I believe it's a very effective way to help you get there fast. Peggy and Steve is not their real names, but their story is absolutely real. I have changed their voices and there's no identifying details, so it's as anonymous as possible. You're going to learn more about them in just a second. On May 12th, we're opening our next cohorts for our men's and women's small group coaching program. This is excellent for anyone that wants to work on their part and their side in their relationship. This is for men and for women. It's a small group. The men meet with just men and women meet with just women, of course. It's limited to 6 to 8 individuals per group. And it's a 14-week-long course as well. You'll find all of those details at getyourmarriageon.com and click events, or look at the links in the show notes. Okay, I'm about to meet with Peggy and Steve. They say the wife can't orgasm. They've been married 12 years. They have children, and they have a fairly stable marriage. They have sex on a schedule, on a certain night of the week. It's like on the calendar. It's like their system. My impression was sex was uninspiring for them, and they want to change. And they think if Peggy can have more orgasms, then that will give her more confidence and things will get better. So they're trying really hard to get there, and she just hasn't. But they think they've made some progress along the way. They talked about some attempts for sex where they did it, and one occasion in particular didn't go as well, and they both ended frustrated. And it gave me some clues as to kind of the rigidity that this couple has in sex. So we're about to start this session, and my goal of this session is to just really get more data. It's like solving a puzzle, trying to be a detective, and kind of getting a clearer picture in my head what sex is like for this couple so that I can move in and help them see things differently. We'll see how it goes. Go ahead.
I'm Peggy. This is Steve.
I'm Steve. This is Peggy.
Great. All right, Peggy and Steve. I am grateful for what you sent me. Excellent job on the journal entries. It gives me a little window into what life is like for you two, and it provides some more puzzle pieces. So I hope today we can keep talking and I can get an even clearer picture on things. Before we begin, anything you want to talk about or share?
I'd just say that this last week was probably, or the last couple of journal entries probably weren't our standard fare of what normally happens with us.
Yeah, it seemed like there was work stress getting in the way, and
there's lots of that, yeah. But
it was a very busy week too.
Mm-hmm.
Like after work activities.
Gotcha. What would be more regular, you think?
Friday night, just kids are finally down. We relaxed for a bit and go in the room and have sex.
Mm-hmm.
Both fine afterwards. and
Yeah.
No major drama.
Yes.
Great. Okay, Peggy, you mentioned this a few times in the journal entries this came up. You have a great capacity for fantasizing.
hmm
That's kind of one of the tools you use to help you get in the mood. Can you tell me about the content of these fantasies?
Usually it involves Steve, and usually it's like scenarios that I probably wouldn't off the bat do. Just more like, oh, I'm brave enough to try things, or it's like a role play scenario. Kind of flip between them. When one kind of wears out, I flip to something else. Well, if I get used to it, and I just need something different to keep the mindset going.
Gotcha. Are these fantasies, like, I'm just guessing here, but maybe you can give me a little more concrete if you're willing to share.
Like we're at a party and I'm like, okay, let's go in the closet, or maybe we go park somewhere, or stuff like that. That I'm like in real life, I'd be like, someone could see us. No,
How do those fantasies help you get in the mood?
probably because like I'm me, but it's a more confident me, and it's I don't know, I guess safer to be more free when it's like me but not me. If that makes
Mm-hmm.
any sense.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So it feels like you can let go more in your fantasies than in real life.
Yeah,
And that letting go is erotic to you. It helps.
yeah, being more confident and not worrying as much.
Mm-hmm.
I guess not being in as controlling.
Right. Help me understand. You mentioned also you see yourself disassociating quite a bit too.
Yeah, like I think after I realized maybe I'm kind of done, I'm just like, okay, I'm not gonna probably get more pleasure from this. So I guess I just pull back because it doesn't feel the same after like, you've climaxed as much as your body's going to at that moment. And so whatever happens next might not feel bad, but it's not gonna feel as pleasurable. So it's
Mhm.
just kind of like, okay. Or sometimes my brain just gets so far and then it's just like, oh, I don't it's hard to explain. Like it just pulls back from either gets tired of trying to create scenarios or it's just like done. And so it's like, okay, we'll just do it. Needs to be done to make sure David enjoys himself, basically. Or
Gotcha. Where is Steve in all of this? I'm not talking physically, but in your mind, where is Steve?
like with like the fantasies, I'm usually interacting with him.
Oh, you're like
Uh,
speaking the fantasies out loud?
oh no, it's all in my head.
Oh, okay. Oh, but in your mind, you're interacting with him.
Yes.
Okay.
And I'm trying to keep track of what's going on outside of me too. So it's kind of like a switch between the two, or kind of have them like half and half fantasy, but know what's going on, if that is what you're looking for.
Got it. So it is kind of like a switch in your mind. Like I can either go into my fantasy world or be present with Steve, but it's not a both.
It can sometimes be a little of both, but probably more one than the other on the whole.
Steve, can you put yourself in that situation? You're in the bedroom with Peggy. What how do you experience Peggy in that moment? You see her in her fantasy world.
So while Peggy is fantasizing and stuff, her eyes are generally closed and stuff, so she can focus on what she's feeling or thinking. I'm working on whatever else she would like me to work on. I'm not quite sure I follow what you mean by the question. Like, she's there, and I'm kind of looking and gauging her face when I can see her face to see what I'm doing, if that's working for her. Is that
Mhm.
more like what you're looking for?
Please correct me if I'm wrong, but the picture in my head is Steve, you're attending to your wife, right? You're
Yeah.
very careful, you're very loving in all this.
Try to be.
And it's something you're both collaborating with, like, hey, let's both try to give her pleasure.
Mhm.
She closes her eyes. She is trying to do her part by stepping into some of these other roles that she finds erotic.
Mhm.
There's the touch. But I wonder, how do you experience your wife in that? Does she feel close? Does she feel far? Does she feel present? Does she feel distant?
Is my opinion of how she's feeling?
How do you experience Peggy? Yeah.
It varies. I would say that there's sometimes when she gives me feedback that I feel closer. I feel like she's closer to me in the moment. Sometimes I kind of like, she hasn't said anything no, so I'm taking this to be it's all working. From experience that if I vary or deviate from whatever I'm doing, that usually is, no, I was enjoying that. So like, sorry, Peggy. I guess in some ways I feel a little distant just because there's not as much communication or, in some form, whether it be signals or actual words or whatever. But I know that she's focusing on enjoying herself. And I know that what I'm doing is at least sort of helping. So I enjoy that. I feel close to her because I'm, attending her.
Mm-hmm. I've had sex with my wife many, many times where it just felt like a orgasm exchange. And then I've had sex with my wife many times where it was transcendent. It was something that we felt so like alive in. Like we're both really present. We're together in it. It's like we both stepped into another dimension together.
Hmm.
And we're just transported to another realm almost. And I think the difference is I can really get like in my head or really like focus on the mechanics of things or whatever. But I kind of shut out my wife in the process. I kind of lose her in it because I'm focused on this. Or if I'm too focused on pleasing my wife, I kind of lose her in it too. Like mentally, we're not together in it. That's what I'm trying to hint at. But that's the picture in my mind that sex for the two of you seems a little more scripted, maybe a little more like Peggy does her thing while Steve does his thing. And then until it hits a certain point, then she stops. And then, time permitting, it's Steve's turn. And then you're both done and go to bed, kind of a thing. And there's nothing wrong with that. I think that's how a lot of people have sex. But I just want to know if that's an accurate picture in my mind of what it's like for you two.
It seems fairly accurate.
Yeah.
Take care of her and then take care of me. And so it's a bit more of an exchange and less that transcendent thing that you were saying.
Okay, yeah. And so what I guess in a roundabout way, what I'd like more clarity on is how do you experience each other in sex?
Mm-hmm.
Like Peggy, how do you experience Steve? Steve, how do you experience Peggy?
I think a lot of times I'm focused on just trying to make it all work out well and work on the things that will help me get to maybe that more transcendent place.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes I can have more fun with it. And when I do, I think I do feel closer than other times when it's more mechanical. So I definitely want to work on getting to the more transcendent place. I mean, I think I'm definitely closer than I was years ago, but
Yeah.
it'd be nice to make more progress on, yeah, not just, oh, there's a person that's Steve there, but my partner in life and everything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Good. How about you, Steve? How do you experience Peggy in sex?
A lot of times I feel closer with her, more, I wouldn't say we're, at the transcendent stage, but, at least looking in that direction. Towards the beginning when it's just more foreplay, it's a little less scripted, a little less mechanical. It's where it's a little easier for at least me to try to use touch and stuff to express my love for her.
Mm-hmm.
There does kind of seem to be a stage where it goes, okay, now I need to focus on being very mechanical and, all right, do this, do that, don't do this, don't do this. And at that point, it turns more just the mechanics of it.
Yeah. Just be clear, the mechanics aren't working the way you want it to in your marriage.
I mean, if by mechanics you mean orgasm, then no. not yet. But
Gotten better.
Maybe another way to ask it is, can you put a finger on what's missing in your sexual encounters?
Probably fun.
Okay.
Not for Steve's fault. My fault.
Steve can work on that too. Why am I saying myself in the third person? Yeah, fun with each other.
I think you would have a lot more fun once I get out of my own way. And I appreciate
I
your
think we'd
patience.
have a lot of fun.
Can you think of a time you had a lot of fun?
Before we had kids?
Yes, that helped a lot.
At least in that respect, it was a lot less stress.
Back when we were newlyweds, there was a lot more fun. There were other challenges.
Yeah.
But there was a lot more fun.
We didn't have as many time constraints as we do now on when it can happen.
Yes. Our 10-year anniversary, we went on a overnight weekend. That was also nice.
That's true.
We got to just have a bit more fun with that.
And it's been 12 years now, so.
Yeah.
What made it fun on the 10-year anniversary? I know no obligation of the kids, but what made the sex fun?
We got to, we put a lot of planning into it because we knew that was kind of the point of going out there. Just have a grand old time. So we were, coming up with surprises of lingerie and mangerie or whatever you call it. And
we got to take our time and not be exhausted at night. Knowing we'd have to get up early in the morning no matter what time we got to bed.
Mm-hmm. And we got to just focus on each other. Our focus is
all day
ripped apart over right now.
Yeah.
So being able to focus on each other was lovely.
That's good. I agree with you. More fun's great. Like, that's what we want, right? But why can't you have it now? And you mentioned you have kids and stress from work or whatever, but still, why can't you just have fun?
You're tired, man.
But you're having sex still and you're tired.
True. That's one of the reasons we are more tired.
That's true.
No, there's no reason we can't, other than it's hard.
What's hard about it for you, Steve?
Stress with the kids.
I mean, that doesn't help, but I don't know. I mean, I don't want to just say because you're not having fun, but
it's okay.
I mean, I'd be quite willing to have more fun, but it's a mutual thing.
No, I definitely get in the way of more fun. It's okay. You can say it. That's something I know I need to work on. And I guess it's just scary letting loose. I'm more able to do it when we're on like that vacation and stuff, but it's still something I know I need to work on. So
I think you're right that it's scary to let loose. And I see that from Peggy. And we're going to dive into that a little bit. But I still want a little more clarity on what Steve thinks. Yes, it would be easier if your wife was bringing the party, right? But what is it about sex with your wife that makes it hard for you to let loose yourself and to have fun?
Right now, a lot of things are very challenging for Peggy when it comes to sex. And if I want to let loose, well, there's only so much I can do on my own that's not going to be mutual and would require her to step outside of her comfort zone. Right now, I'm trying to make sure that she is comfortable, because if you're not comfortable, you're not really going to have fun. So I'm being a bit more controlled. I'm trying to control myself more so that she is feeling in a safe place. I mean, if you want to just disregard the, time and busyness and life being crazy and no time to think about how I would like to, woo and seduce my wife. When I do find time, I try to come up with stuff, and, even if it's just, putting the heater in the bedroom so it's a little extra warm in there and turning the lights on and, ambiance lights,
Ooh,
whatever.
That's romantic.
And stuff like that.
You got it in you.
Sometimes there's not a whole lot of capacity at the end of the long day of being able to do that, but I try to. But that's about as much cut and loose as I can pull off right now without putting Peggy outside of her comfort zone.
Gotcha.
Like,
What's an example of something that you would do if you could let loose that you're afraid to do because it will put Peggy outside of her comfort zone?
Well, I have to think about that one. I don't give it a whole lot of thought, so I have to get
Wait,
back to you.
this is really interesting to me. I'm just curious, like, hey, I know we need to have more fun. I would have more fun if my wife was less, uptight about it. And then I
Mhm.
ask you, okay, what does that look like? And you have a hard time sharing that. Is it because you really have a hard time coming up with it, or is it something else?
Well,
Hard time saying it in front of your wife, or hard time allowing yourself to go there?
bit of all three. Is it only two? There's probably a third.
Yeah, I don't.
Um,
Uh-huh. And by the way,
um,
there's no judgment here, and it's just fine. I just want to explore this a little bit more with you, because
so,
I
um,
have a reason why I'm guiding in this direction.
sure. Where my mind first went to was try out different fantasies that I like.
Okay,
Now, that is obviously fine for me, but she's not comfortable with a lot of the fantasies that I like. So,
such as.
well, I mean, I'd be interested in up against a wall,
Hmm.
um, or some like bondage, or oral and stuff, or just making games out of it. I could go on and on, but that sort of stuff. So, like I said, I would cut loose, have fun doing all that. But obviously, that's a very mutual thing. And if Peggy's not comfortable with that, then no.
Mhm.
My second thing about why I was having a hard time answering it is for a long time, I didn't see my own problems with this, in this aspect of our married life. After listening to your podcast and other podcasts and stuff, I realized, oh, I've got issues too. I do not ever want to criticize or have Peggy feel like she's being criticized because
Mhm.
this is hard for her and I don't want her to feel bad. So I don't want to come off as blaming her for we can't have fun because of this or that. So I don't really let myself think about a whole lot of things because it would be very easy for me to fall into resentment.
Yeah,
So I just avoid it and I just enjoy what we have.
gotcha. Back to the question, Peggy, of how you experience Steve in sex. Do you
hmm
feel do you feel him in sex like he's holding back? Like he's trying to be really careful and like keep it within a box and kind of contain himself?
I think
Do you sense
he's
that?
I think he's very aware of trying to do what I'm comfortable with. Like it's not like there's not like an energy of like, oh, I'm holding back if only I could let loose, even though I know there's a lot more he would want to do. But he's very good about not letting it feel like frustration. Like there's not a frustration when we have sex that I feel or anything like that.
Gotcha. Just to be clear, Steve, if Peggy were to say, hypothetically, don't touch my arm, I don't want you to touch my arm, you
Mm-hmm.
don't touch her arm. Like
Right.
consent, as they say, or
hmm
whatever. Like, agency is highly respected.
Mm-hmm.
But back to Peggy, do you ever get the sense that sex with Steve, the kind of Steve that shows up in sex, is not the full Steve? It's just the part Steve.
It doesn't like feel that way, but I know like in my head that there's a lot more that he would want to do. And sometimes when I'm like, okay, let's try a little more, I'm always like, okay, how excited is he gonna be where it's like, okay, slow down, I only need this far. But normally he's really good at going to my next level.
So the Steve that shows up in sex for you, Peggy, he's fine. Like for lack
Mhm.
of a better word,
Yeah,
this is fine.
yeah. It doesn't cause strain or problems, if that's what you're looking for.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But Steve, the Peggy that you experience in sex seems, I guess the picture I'm getting, it she seems really kind of fearful, rigid. like trying to keep things in a small box?
She is growing and improving.
Uh-huh.
Is her box as big of a box as I would like? No, not yet. But I do recognize that Peggy's grown a lot. She is cautious and careful. You could say controlling with it, but I know that's not just because she's on a power trip. I know that it's because she's feeling out the situation, working on growth in a safe, controlled way.
Mm-hmm. Your fantasies, Peggy, they don't seem to be of someone that is really shy about sex.
I think if I let myself, I could be a lot more bold and confident. I'm just stopping myself for some reason.
Like, you're demonstrating you're capable of it.
Mm-hmm.
Can you sense where that limit is? Like that barrier? Can you almost feel it? Like a force field or whatever?
Yeah, sometimes where it's just, I'm like, oh, I could suggest this, and I feel myself being like, no. And then sometimes I'm getting better at being like, well, why not?
Mm-hmm.
And so that's where I've started to grow a little bit. Even just like it's in the middle of the day and the kids are busy. I'm like, well, we could. Instead of before, I would have been like, no, it's not nighttime. Like,
Mm-hmm.
so I think it's just I need to work on questioning why I have it there, and well, why not? Let's just go ahead and just trying it. I think trying is the hardest first step because you're like trying something you wouldn't normally do.
That's a great answer, but I question how much of it comes from the heart because it makes logical sense, but it's not your lived experience.
I'm starting to. It's definitely been a process, but I think I've reached a point where I'm like, okay, I've tried some things and I'm somewhat comfortable. Now I need to try some more new things.
Can you give me an
Let's
example of how you've grown in that way?
see. Well, you notice any ways you might think of some too, because
Sure.
Oh, before
Uh,
Steve answers, I want to hear Peggy answer herself
oh,
and defer to Steve.
well, like sometimes I'll initiate something when normally I would just wait for Steve to initiate sex, especially if it's not like our normal time that we have scheduled.
Mm-hmm.
And I was brave and got cards that suggest role play things and kind of give you a script.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, sure, we'll buy that. I don't know when I'll be ready to try it, but at least we'll buy it so we can try it sometime. So that was something I probably wouldn't have done before.
How
So
recent was that purchase?
at most 2 months ago.
It hasn't been utilized yet. It's just in the
Well,
closet.
we've looked at them,
Uh-huh.
and it's been in the back of my mind that sometime, I mean, I don't know yet, but sometime we should just think the thing you have to do is just get your feet wet and try and feel stupid at first. I hear that's just how it is. Just because I'm not an actress, so I don't know what I'm doing.
likewise.
Interesting. All right. So you're making some purchases that you wouldn't have usually before.
Mm-hmm.
You can initiate if it's not on the designated night of the week.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the goal isn't to have the same size boxes and have perfect overlap. That's not real life. That's
Yeah.
not how marriages usually go. But I do want to know, like, so if Steve suggests something like, hey, let's do it from behind, or let's do it up against a wall, what's your experience with that? What goes on in you?
Initially, it's just like
Why? Where's the coming from?
it's like what's going to be expected of me? Is it comfortable? How comfortable am I with trying this? Besides just
When you
physically,
say comfortable, I mean like physical comfort, like
physical comfort.
Me?
Like, how
Uh-huh.
is that gonna work out physically? Like, will it feel all right when things are going on? And is it just like, oh, that wall's gonna be cold? That's not gonna be comfortable. And just emotionally, how do I feel about doing that? Like all those things, it's just what does this all involve for me? And what's going to be expected? How do I have to like perform and stuff like
Do you feel like you perform for Steve now in sex?
that? Not as much anymore. I think in the beginning I did feel like that. But we both come a long way, so
Tell me more about the thought of, oh, what's expected of me?
I guess what I need to do to make sure I fulfill expectations, I guess.
Yes, our expectations.
Can you tell me more about what those expectations are?
I guess do the right things, move the right way, make the right noises, which I don't do right now. Make sure he feels pleasure and that I guess I do the things that make me look like I'm enjoying myself so that you will be happy with it. I think more in the beginning of our marriage I felt more pressure about that. But I mean not as much now, but I think it still feels that way, but not from you, but it's still in there. So
Peggy, in your fantasy world, and you take on a new identity, do you have a different, I don't know, what do we call the fantasy version of Peggy? Is there a name for that person?
I mean I don't have a name in my head, just I guess a more free me.
Okay. So let's help me see the juxtaposition. What's the more free version of you in that scenario?
I guess I am more in charge. Like Steve's in a more just enjoying the moment, or I'm telling him what to do and what feels good or whatever. So I'm not worried about how I look, or I just feel sexy and know what to do because it's me and it's what I want, I guess.
In that free version in your fantasy,
Mm-hmm.
are you concerned about if you're moving the right way for Steve, or if you're making the right noises for Steve?
No.
That's good. What's the difference then? Like if you're to step into that more free version right now, what's the main shift in your heart or in your mind?
I guess not worried at all about what he's thinking. I know he's enjoying himself, so I'm just having fun and I'm not worried about being judged for anything I'm doing, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Have you ever had sex with Steve where you weren't worried about what he's thinking? You can just be.
Probably come close. Like now I'm not as worried, but like anytime where I'm like, oh, is he bored or something? I'm like, I tell myself, no, he's fine. He's enjoying this. It's
Oh, he could be bored. I don't know. What what
but
what do you really experience, Steve?
I don't feel like he's bored. But when we're more focusing on me, I guess it's taken a while to not just worry about anything he might in a bad way of what he's thinking, like, oh, he's bored or oh, I've been gotten to the point where I'm like, okay, he wants me to work on this, figure it out, have fun. But I guess I could also look at it as we can enjoy each other instead of like I'm just trying to get myself figured out and then but I also need to work on it to grow. So it's
It seems to me the stakes are high in sex.
yes and no. Like I don't feel pressure like I used to like get an orgasm, but at the same time it'd be nice to figure it out because I feel like once I hit that step, maybe trying to have fun won't be so hard. Because I'll be like, oh, I know what's coming.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be great. So
Yeah. I know we're meandering a bit, but I still see even the way you're having sex now seems high stakes. And there's a performative aspect to it, is what I'm seeing. And I say that because a lot of your answers are in reference to Steve's experience with you
mm,
rather than your own experience with you. Do you see that too?
I could see how that could be the case.
And the fantasy version of you the free version in your fantasies, I
Yeah.
should say, there's no performative aspect at all. In fact, you're the one in charge.
Mhm.
And that is hot, right? You like that's a appealing position for you because when you're in charge, who cares if your hair's down or up? Who cares if I don't know, you fart? I'm sorry, that's what happens.
Okay.
But you get the point,
It's real
right?
life.
Who cares? I'm in charge here, and I just because I exude sexiness because of who I am turning on this man, and he can't help it. Like that is a sexy meaning. You're laughing, so I think I'm on the right step.
Yeah.
But it's also not high stakes.
You can have sex for me, not for you, but for us. But yeah,
That's fine.
If Steve wasn't there, do you think you could let loose and enjoy yourself more?
I think I still have to find a way to give myself permission for some reason.
Talk more on that.
I don't know. I guess it's just scary for some reason. I don't know if it's don't want to make a mistake, don't want to look stupid, don't want to.
But Steve's not quote unquote there. You're not
Yeah,
stupid
but
for him.
like
Or do you mean more for yourself?
for myself,
Okay. All right.
what will I be like if I just am free? And I think having the fantasies helps me be like, well, that's not bad. If that's what I was like, that is just fine. So I think having the fantasies actually is helping me get used to the idea of trying stuff like that. So that's been helpful in that way.
Tell me more about giving yourself permission. It's hard to give yourself permission to kind of let loose.
Just taking whatever barrier I have in my head and just being like, no, it's okay if I enjoy sex. It's okay if I'm someone who likes to roleplay. It's okay if, I guess, letting my emotions just run me instead of constantly keeping them under control.
Mm-hmm. Where do you think that comes from?
I think early on in childhood, I just didn't want to make mistakes. Like
Mm-hmm.
it's better to just not sin than have to repent later. That's hard, and
Yeah.
like, yeah. So I think that might be part of it. And that's translated, okay, just keep everything under control and make as little mistakes as possible, even though that's,
How's that working out for you?
yeah, obviously it's backfired a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So coming to realize that it's okay to not have 100% control on your emotions. You're not a Vulcan.
Mm-hmm.
Even that didn't work well for them.
Think this through for a second. Like, what's one thing that if you weren't afraid of it, if you could give yourself more permission to do, that you would do?
I mean,
To let go.
yeah.
What's that look like? What's a picture of that like represent?
Having more fun with sex would be a big thing and that I'd like to just let go and do.
What's an example of more fun?
Maybe more fast paced than the slow that we do. Like just enjoying kissing more. I need to work on figuring that out. Nothing Steve does wrong. And just I don't know, have surprising you with ta-da, lingerie, let's do this. And I do that sometimes, but it's been a while.
Does tying Steve up sound fun to you? I'm throwing out a few things. Just
No, that's fine. Yeah.
what stick?
A little more than it used to, but still something that haven't wrapped my mind around yet.
How about giving Steve a lap dance? Does that sound fun to you?
That is intimidating right now.
I'm just trying to find a concrete example of what
Yeah.
fun looks like. That's realistic. That represents giving yourself full permission to be free, to be yourself in it.
I guess like an example might be like kids are in bed, so I don't have to worry about them. And we just like maybe start making out and I'm enjoying it and we just go and have fun, like nothing planned. And it's just a fun free time. And I haven't really done that, and I'm sorry.
Don't apologize.
So
Gotcha. So where in real life, where does it break down? Is it the passionate kissing part? Like, oh, I'm not supposed to do that? Or is it I'm starting to feel aroused in this? Danger. Or
yeah, no, I haven't really gotten into the passionate kissing yet.
You're getting better.
A little bit. I'd like to be really good at it. But that was something I definitely controlled during dating, because you're like, you
Right.
kiss too much, you could go too far, and so it's just like,
Ceramic mistake. Right.
and they kind of drill it into you in your youth.
So Peggy, what would be the mistake of passionate kissing today?
Well, nothing, but for some reason I'm still getting in my own way. So we need to take more time and just practice, I guess.
Okay.
Let's get a little more concrete with this. In your mind's eye, can you imagine yourself? Kids are in bed, you feel free, and you start kissing, and you want it to be more passionate.
Mm-hmm.
Can you picture that in your mind?
Like I can picture that, yeah. So
where's the barrier? Where's the wall that's coming up in that?
I guess I don't let myself think about it enough. So maybe I should start practicing visualizing that. And then while we're kissing, I noticed lately I made the connection. Steve will put his arms, cut my face, or, around my back, or, touch. And I'm like, I don't do that. Like, move hands around in various places. I'm like, I should do that too. I think that gives you more connection and, just helps complete the whole process so your brain doesn't get in your way as much. And helps you get into it more instead of just like keeping your hand in one spot. So I'm like, I need to try that.
We spent a lot of time in this session focused on you, Peggy. You're giving great answers, but I still don't have that clear picture of where's the wall? Why is it hard to give yourself permission? Obviously, you're capable of it.
Mm-hmm.
You've demonstrated that abundantly. And I'm asking because I just really want to get into your brain. What is it about kissing your husband in the moment that's like where you find yourself like, I don't want to make a mistake? Can you put a finger on it? If it's like a videotape, can you play that in your mind?
Mm-hmm.
Pause the frame. It's right there. I see it. This is where it unravels for me.
I guess some of it might be, was I in the mood to start this? Did it come out of the blue? Am I distracted with other things to begin with? Like if Steve just wants to all of a sudden make out and I haven't had the chance to just turn off my mom brain, I could see that being part of it. But I'm also, why can't I just enjoy a random make-out session with my husband? Why do I have to turn off my mom brain? I guess maybe part of me is just taking that next step of enjoying it might be hard and it's work. And sometimes I'm just like, I just want it to be natural instead of having to work at everything, I guess.
What about passionate kissing feels like work?
I guess getting in the right mindset to enjoy it. I guess it feels like I shouldn't have to figure that out, but because I'm trying to figure out all aspects of sex and what, love and enjoying it.
Is it hard to enjoy because it's tied to so many other things that you feel like a failure in or inadequate in?
Yeah, probably.
I can't enjoy passionate kissing because I can't enjoy sex the way I want to. It's because I disappoint my husband or I let him down. He feels constricted being married to me. Like those kinds of feelings?
I think more like I want to enjoy this, but it's just I always feel like it's so hard to just kick my own self out of my own way. I mean, maybe a long time ago, it was I want to kind of do it right, probably for Steve, but I think more it's just I just want to do it for me and have a good aspect in this part of my marriage. So,
What would it look like if you could make out passionately and it didn't feel like work?
be
Can you play that
fun.
videotape in your mind? Like, see
Yeah.
yourself there? What's different about that version of Peggy?
It's just enjoying the moment, not overanalyzing,
Mm-hmm.
enjoying physical contact with Steve, and just enjoying what he's doing to me.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just a lot of enjoyment and fun.
Does it feel like work at that point?
And the video, no,
No.
just fun and enjoyment.
So what's the key difference with that hypothetical version of you?
It's probably expectations.
Whose expectations?
Probably right now a lot of mine and maybe a little bit of yours. But just because I know you want to enjoy and see me more involved, which are not bad things.
Can you see yourself letting those expectations go?
It's definitely something I want to work on, and I think I can.
Could you see how you use the phrase something I can work on, which is fine,
Mm-hmm.
but to me it implies it's going to take like a lot of effort, like climbing a mountain or something like that. Is that kind of how it feels? Like there's going to be a lot of effort here.
Sometimes I think I need to just start envisioning it as in letting probably those expectations go. So it's more of a release. I think of it more of a release than a climb. I think that'd be helpful.
So here's going to be part of your homework that I'll give you.
Okay.
You're on the wrong path if it feels like work.
Okay.
Because passionate making out feels great when it's fun.
Okay.
It's like I got to work on getting the right frame so that I can make out with my husband. That's like climbing a hill. It's not fun. So you're on the wrong path. The right path is, yeah, I could enjoy that right now. That sounds relaxing. That sounds fun. If you sense from him in the kiss, like he's got these expectations that need to lead to more, then it turns into work again. Do you see that?
Mm-hmm.
So that's when you're like, wait, back off. Fun. We're going to have fun here. It doesn't mean you're saying no to sex per se. You're saying no to work.
Mm-hmm. Guess we'll have to practice some fun.
Where I have a theory as to why it's hard for you to let go and just have fun.
Okay.
Part of it is because it feels vulnerable.
Yeah, I did see that.
Part of it, in order to let go and have fun, is the epitome of letting go of control.
Mm-hmm.
And the way you have sex is very much about control. I want to control my fantasy. I want to control the stimulation and the touch and the timing, even when we have it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's trying to, and you can't have an orgasm that you're trying to control because your sexual self is rebelling.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Oh, I'm out of here. No, thank you. I don't
I
want an
didn't
orgasm.
mean it in the right way.
Yeah. Hey, I'm not going to show up and have like, no way, I'm checked out because that's, and it comes from learning to trust yourself.
Yeah.
And you learn to trust yourself by having fun, relaxing.
Yeah.
And learning to like just really be in the moment.
Yeah, that sounds right.
How do you feel right now with that? What do you think?
Hopeful that I can try those out.
I'm afraid it sounds really abstract and not really concrete for you yet.
I think I get that. Like the few times I've initiated where it was like, maybe.
Yeah.
And like the beginning of that was like, oh, this is fun. And then,
And then it turned to work. But like,
and then it turns into the, controlling and work. But at the beginning, I'm like, get that little like, this could be fun. So I think I get what you're saying.
Good. You have it in you.
Yeah.
Even in the fantasy version of Peggy has it in her.
Mm-hmm.
What if from now on you have sex, but the moment it starts to feel like work, you stop? Or you stop having that kind of sex?
That might be interesting, but we can at least try it if you're willing.
Whatever you need.
What do you mean, at least try it?
Like, I want to.
Doesn't that sound like 100 times
Okay,
better than
yes.
the kind of sex we're having now?
No, I will work on having.
There it is again.
And I don't know how else to say it, but yes, we will.
Stop picking on her.
We will do your suggestion. Is that the right way of saying it?
That's fine. Sex might look like a lot of foreplay. and no orgasms. And I think that's perfectly okay.
Okay.
Because here's my hypothesis. Peggy, I think you would be happier and more free expressing yourself
Mm-hmm.
sexually if the experience is about having fun and enjoying each other. And that is it. It's not about performing. It's not about proving. It's not about expectations. It's not about doing the right moves, saying the right things. And it's letting loose, but it's less about intercourse and more about really letting yourself be
Mm-hmm.
and practicing that version of yourself in your fantasies. Who knows? You might talk your fantasies out loud to Steve and let him listen, let him enjoy them. Do you see how it's like inviting him into your world and that
Mm-hmm.
there's not a performative aspect to it?
Yeah.
Steve, I'm sorry, spent a lot of time with Peggy and I like to keep my sessions balanced. Anything you want to add from your perspective? Anything you want to add on to this conversation so far?
Is there anything that you can think of that I can do other than obviously to stop when she needs to stop, when it stops being fun and more work, that I could do that would help with that? I mean, I can ask her obviously, but
Yeah, just be really attuned to her in the experience.
Mhm.
It's like, can you sense for her the moment it turns into work for her?
I'd say sometimes I can feel when she pulls away. I presume that would be when it turns to work.
Yeah. So don't go any further.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like a commitment to yourself. I'm not going to be the kind of husband that wants to perpetuate that sex feels like work in our marriage. I don't want that meaning alive anymore in our relationship. It's not good for us. So that's half of it. The second half is for you to have fun, which I think is easy for you a little bit.
I hope so.
Man, like touching this part of my wife's body is fun. Like, holy smokes, this anatomy is incredible. Like, she is beautiful. I am like, I don't know. I don't mean to be cheesy at all, but you can connect to a part of you that where you just really like being there.
Okay.
It's exciting. Do you see that in you?
Yeah.
Yes.
Maybe I'm just projecting my own experience on you, but I think you see that because of your write up.
Yeah. I think I can see that.
So you want to kind of stay in that space.
Okay. Should I be concerned about overwhelming her if I'm enjoying myself so much? Or I could enjoy myself, but I could easily push her to the, whoa, back off. So I can work a little more slowly into that so that she's more setting the pace.
I'm less concerned about setting the pace because I think your biggest hang up, Steve, is you are too wife centric in sex.
I mean, I've heard that's really good things. So
It is good, but it's not good for you. It's not good for her. I mean, hear me out. This is what I mean. I'll tell you a story from my own marriage. I'll be quick. Chart on the wall, calendar in the closet. We used to mark how often we'd had sex.
Mhm.
And I'd mark when my wife had an orgasm compared to me. I had a different symbol for that. And it's not like my wife didn't know I was tracking this. We were kind of doing this together. But I had a really poor batting average. Let's just say that. Frequency of her orgasm compared to mine, we were not close to parity. It was like way out disproportionate. And meaning I was having way more orgasms than her, and I wanted to fix that. And it meant so much to me that she had an orgasm. In fact, it meant so much to me. Like, it'd be great if we're at parity, like 1-to-1. Like, that'd be fantastic. So when we'd have sex, it was, and maybe you can relate to this, very careful. Am I doing it the right way? How are you? Checking in very often, letting her guide it. And it made it worse. Because
Okay, yeah.
looking back, of course it'd make it worse. Sex was work, and it was a reflection on myself. And I was really looking at as who I was through the eyes of my wife's performance. So if my wife had a good time, I had a good time. If she didn't quite get there, it means I wasn't doing as well. My ego was really tied up in the whole experience. So yes, on the surface, I'm a great husband because I'm really attentive to my wife. But the motive of why I'm attentive to my wife has a self-focus in it. The motive behind it was I needed her to perform so that I felt good about me. Do you see that in my story?
Yeah.
I think there's a little bit of that going on in your marriage now.
I can believe that. Okay.
And so when I say don't focus so much on your wife, it's too wife-centric. This is why early on I was like, Peggy, what's your experience of Steve and sex? Steve, what's your experience of Peggy and sex? And I couldn't really get clear on that in this session because my hypothesis is Peggy feels a little suffocated in sex, claustrophobic maybe. Like, I gotta be this way because Steve wants a certain output. Steve, you want Peggy to be a certain way because you want a certain end result. Instead of just relaxing and enjoying each other and celebrating your union, celebrating each other's life and what they mean. It's too performative in it. That's my hypothesis. And I couldn't get clear if that's what it's like in your marriage.
I could see that some. I think it was a lot more like that in the beginning days. But maybe there's still a little bit left over.
Okay.
Maybe. I don't know. You'd have to tell me, but I think we could both have more fun.
That sounds good.
I think that's a
Great.
yes.
All right. So here's our homework.
Okay.
I want you to have a lot of sex over the next few weeks. Try to go for 10 times, but it doesn't mean orgasms. It doesn't mean penetration. It can be a makeout session. It could be cuddling naked. It could be fondling each other's bodies. The goal is to enjoy each other in a sexual way.
Mm-hmm.
And you know it's sexual because it's something you would do with a locked door or without the kids seeing. That's how you know that is, right?
Okay.
And avoid work, play. This is a little bit of letting loose. Now, letting loose doesn't mean I get to do whatever I want because you're with another person. But letting loose includes kind of being attuned to each other. And it's not going to be easy because this is 100% 180 with the way you are having sex today. We'll say give it 2 weeks. Can you try to have sex the opposite of the way you're doing it now? Which is,
Yeah.
and you're going to do lots of it if it is. This is fun. And share your fantasies if you can. That'd be cool.
Okay.
Like you make sex as much with your mind as you do with your body. Like let the other person in. And it doesn't mean you have to do any of it. That's the beauty of fantasy. But it's about fun. Fun. Just enjoying each other in that.
Okay.
And you
we
might
can
be
do that.
playing with the fantasy cards and like practicing different voices. I don't know, like whatever, right? Like talking through the scenarios. It doesn't mean you have to like do them, but it could be goofy if that's your style. Like do it. But the moment it turns to work, you both stop. Like you're going in the wrong direction. That's
Okay.
what you need to try. You need to break that habit.
Okay. Sounds good.
Okay, so just again, to be clear, lots of sex. I recommend 10 times over the 2 weeks, but that's just a guidance, right? Like if you're like, now it turns into work because we got to get 10 times in 2 weeks. Now it goes counter to my homework, but you get the idea. We're going to ramp up our play and it's all play, no work. And then journal them and send me your journal entries. That gives me more window into what's working or not working.
Okay.
For each time?
That's ideal. Yeah. It is that the journal part that feels like work. Maybe you batch 2 or 3 together. That'd be the more data I have, the better I can help. But okay.
Sure. All right.
All right. Thank you. All right. I just finished that session with Peggy and Steve. I couldn't ever get very clear on what sex was like in their marriage. Sometimes we're so wrapped up in our own thoughts and sex. It's not a connecting experience because you lose the connection with your spouse because you're so focused internally. I suspect that's going on, and I really wanted to get more data on what that's like. And the reason why that's important to me for Peggy especially is My hypothesis is she mentioned purity culture in our write-up, just thinking sex is bad, bad, bad. Now it's good, good, good. But yet she has this great capacity to fantasize. So I don't think it's completely the whole story. I think she likes things in control. I don't blame her for that. That's great. But it's antithetical to good sex. And she just hasn't learned how to really let go yet. And another pattern I picked up on, which we concluded on, is there's just a lot of work. There's a lot of work. And sex. I need to work on that, or I need to be this way for Steve. And I also believe that two people always co-construct their dynamic. So Steve has a role to play in it. And Steve seems to be less clear in his role. But I think Peggy's experience in sex would be entirely different if Steve was attuned to her enough and go, you know what? This is turning into work for you, isn't it? Let's stop. Or, I just want to play with you. You don't have to perform for me. Let's just play together. Now, it might mean sometimes there's no orgasms for Steve during sex. It might mean he doesn't get to have sex with her against the wall all the time, or whatever he wants to move her towards. But I think, no, I'm not discounting orgasms. I think they're really important. And I'm not discounting sex against the wall. That sounds exciting. But what I'm saying is, bigger picture, if you zoom way out, he won't get there. Like, this couple can't get to that level of hot sex the way they're operating today. It's too rote. It's too mechanical. There's not a lot of self in it. There's not a lot of exposure in it. So we'll see how it goes with this homework. I want to really see them push themselves to have a lot of sex. That's fun. Doesn't mean orgasms every time, but really practice what is it like to be really present and really let loose. We'll see how that goes for them. I think it's going to be difficult because it's not their standard MO, their modus operandi, how they usually go. So it's going to require a little bit of them learning something new and maybe a lot of frustration on the way. But easy is the goal. Fun is the goal. The moment sex doesn't feel easy or feels like I got to go through hoop A to B to C to D to get there, it's not going to be good. So that's what I really want to push this couple to understand. I think that's what I gathered from today. That's the crux of it. Now, if you would like professional help and coaching to take your marriage to the next level, you can work with me and my team. You'll find these details at getyourmarriageon.com, and don't delay. Make your marriage great now. Don't put it off a year. Don't put it off 3 years. Don't put it off 5 years. Make it great today. Again, thank you for listening. Please share this episode with your married friends, and meanwhile, it's your turn to now go get your marriage on.